Welcome back to Los Angeles. I'm Adam Housley, and you're watching Tech Take. You know, it is the middle of summer season, of course. If you're on the West Coast, East Coast, no matter where you are, sunburns are always a possibility, in fact, and likelihood for a lot of people, especially when you go on vacation. So there are all sorts of new ways now to protect yourself. And, of course, technology is probably the most likely, especially now that we're all tied to our smartphones. And here to talk more about that is Lexie Tauras. She's a manager of Wolfram Apps. You might know the Wolfram Alpha app, which I happen to love. She's joining us on Skype from Champaign, Illinois. We appreciate you joining us, Lexie.
Thank you for having me.
Now, for those who don't know Wolfram, it's kind of like your answer app. I mean, there's all sorts of things you can go on there and find out about. It's actually cool just to surf to figure out, you know, what you don't know and how much you don't know in the world. But when I saw this, I thought it was interesting that you guys have got into the app game now to help people keep from sunburning. I mean, how does that work?
So the app is basically an interface into our Wolfram Alpha knowledge base, and it allows easy navigation through some of our answers that we can give you, and it allows you to put in some variables for your location, your skin type, and things like that to allow you to know how long it'll take how long you can be outside until you'll burn, what SPF you should be using. And it can also give you some forecast for the UV forecast for your location, which gives you a nice, pretty colorful map that shows how intense the sun is in your area. And you can change that up to also see in forecasted for the future to see, you know, in an hour, if I'm going to be outside, how intense will the sun be during that time.
Oh, very cool. Now, is there an alarm on there to tell you, hey, you've been out there for half an hour once you add all those variables in, or is that just, you know, are someone expected to it's still great. It's a ton of information, more in fact than I expected when I first heard about the story.
It doesn't give you an alarms right now. That would be a very nice feature to add in the future, but it's just basically a place for you to go get knowledge about, you know, what you should do in the sun.
Now, we have some stats I'm going to get to before I ask you the next question. We have a couple different ones. Sunburn statistics here in the United States. In fact, it says that half of the adults reported getting sunburn at least once in the last year. In 2008, only 58% of adults said they practiced sun protection. And a person's risk for melanoma doubles if they've had 5 or more sunburns. And most people that I know, including myself, who has a little bit darker skin, I've had more than 5 sunburns. So obviously, this is a very important thing to monitor, and obviously your app is going to help people do that. Does it cost money? Give us kind of the rundown of where people can find it, how much it costs, and how important this is.
It's available in the iTunes store. It's 99 cents right now, and it's been that price for a while. You know, it's very important to be aware of sun protection, and I know me personally, I tend to not burn, but I also tend to underestimate if it's a little bit cloudy outside how intense the sun is at any given moment.
Yeah, we also have some numbers about the rate of cancer in regards to sunburn. So, I mean, or at least having what people face, I should say, if they get sunburned a lot. 1 in 5 Americans will develop skin cancer. Best way to prevent skin cancer is to take protective measures. And obviously, this app is, I guess, a very positive way of taking a protective measure, especially when you saw the numbers that we showed a minute ago about how many people don't use sunscreen.
Right. You know, we're giving users the ability to be a little bit proactive in taking care of themselves.
What's the feedback been so far? I mean, is it pretty user friendly? I mean, the reason why I ask that is there's a lot of apps out there that you can track your health with, and at least I have them on my smartphone. There's only a couple I truly use, and while this one is very cool, and I think I'm going to download it myself, for this segment, and I'll definitely use it. The point is, it's still, I mean, how do you get people, I mean, what's the feedback been? Are they using it? Or they use it once and they kind of forget about it? I mean, or is this something that you really think people can get ingrained into their daily habits?
You know, I personally, it's one of the apps that I use all the time. I think about being outside, and I have a young child, and I'm very concerned with his skin. So I do check it before I'm going to be outside. And like I mentioned, you know, a lot of people don't think when they're going to be outside for a short period of time that the sun will be that intense. And it's pretty interesting to see some of the graphs that we have that show, you know, somebody with fair skin can burn in under 15 minutes in some instances, which, I mean, that could be loading your car.
So I do think that it's fairly easy to use. We've tried to make the interface as easy as possible. You can enter in as much or as little information as you like.
You can just go and it'll pull your current location, give you a map for that. So you don't necessarily have to enter anything in. And some of our more general queries, if you don't feel like putting in your skin type, or say you don't know your skin type, it'll show you the range for each one, exactly how long you can stay outside. I'd like to think that it's really easy to use.
Good. Well, Lexie Tauras is the manager of Wolfram apps and the content from the group coming to us from Champaign, Illinois. I appreciate you joining us. You can find the app on all the stores right now. Again, the Wolfram app is 99 cents, and it helps you track sun exposure and also your skin type and all the different things. Very, very cool. We'll definitely make sure we push this out there. I'm sure my wife will be using it after I tell her about it. So thanks again for joining us from Champaign, Illinois.
Thank you for having me.
All right. I'm Adam Housley in Los Angeles, and you're watching Tech Take.